Hey, Mark here. Quick heads up before you listen to this episode. It's wonderful. Aaron Neuwirth is back. He's one of my favorite movie critics, and we're talking about the John Wick, Fast and Furious, and Mission Impossible franchises. It's wonderful, and I love all three of the movies, and we had a great discussion. The one problem is that I had some slight technical difficulties, so Aaron sounds great. My audio isn't perfect, so if you're listening to this for the first time, just know that the audio is normally much better on my end. It's not terrible, but it's not wonderful, crisp, clean audio. However, the content is A+. We had a great time recording this episode, and I hope it doesn't turn you off from listening to any other thing we record. But just know, my audio isn't great. Aaron's wonderful. This is a very fun episode. Thank you for listening, and here's the show.
Hello, and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who's going to be recording this episode while falling down a never-ending flight of stairs. It's Aaron Neuwirth.
Heyo.
You're just rolling. Like your elbow knee form is really good down these stairs.
I'm ready, boppers.
I love that John Wick 4 references the Warriors and just it makes me so happy.
That's what's like the movie's already like 2 hours in, and then it's like, by the way, we're just gonna be like the Warriors for the next 30 minutes. And I'm like, yes, you just won me even more.
My only issue with John Wick 4 is after a while, I was like, just leave him alone. Like, just stop. Like, guys, like Zorar goes after him, fine. Killa goes after him, fine. Cassius goes after him, it's fine. Just random henchman guy, stop. Just stop. Just see the text message, stay in the cafe, have a coffee, let all the people get killed, and you're going to make a lot of money afterwards because everyone's dead. So that's just my one complaint about John Wick Chapter 4.
Fair.
Yeah. So today, if you didn't see by the title, but you and I, we're gonna be figuring out which one of these three movies is the best. And that's John Wick Chapter 4, Fast 10 Your Seatbelts, and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Three movies that have kept me very busy this year and have given me 6 or 7 assignments. So I've spent so much time with these franchises this year that I'm just like swimming in franchise data. So I'm happy to talk about them. I don't have to do 3 separate episodes. I can pack them into one episode and we can pick a winner, which will be exciting.
It's nice to have that level of convenience, that's for sure.
I scouted every single kill in John Wick 4 twice this year. Twice for Fandom and Ringer. It's called double dipping, my friend. And then Fast 10, I'm currently doing a carbon footprint data article
because they're all so long. That's
yeah. I was looking at this. So here's some data for everyone listening right now. So Fast 10, the tomato meter score is 56%. IMDb's 5.8. It's 141 minutes long. Louis Leterrier directed it, and it grossed 705 million worldwide. John Wick Chapter 4, 94% tomato meter. IMDb 7.7. It grossed 440 million worldwide. It's 169 minutes, directed by Chad Stahelski. Then there's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I'm just going to call it Dead Reckoning. I'm going to leave out Part 1.
I mean, even McQuarrie's like, I think we're just calling it Dead Reckoning now because I don't think we're going to call it Part 2 anymore.
So then we have tomato meter 96%, IMDb 7.8%, and it made 568 million worldwide, and it's 163 minutes. So none of these movies is shorter than 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, they all went big this year.
2 of them are cliffhangers.
Yes.
And all three have staircase action scenes.
They do all three have. Yeah, okay.
While watching
two on the same staircase.
Yeah. I began to blend them together in my head. Like I was like, wait, where are they? This is a roundabout. Okay, well, like I feel like there's always a roundabout in Mission Impossible movies, but that roundabout was from Fallout Roundabout. That'd be a good name, Fallout Roundabout. But either way, I actually like all three of these movies.
I do too.
They're parts of long-running, very successful action franchises, and this is going to be tough for me, Aaron, of the Out Now and Aaron Nabe podcast, and who writes for Relive Entertainment. Check him out on Rotten Tomatoes, and Aaron PS4 on X and everywhere else you can find.
Boldly using the term X.
So where do we start? Where do we start with this?
So I made my own spreadsheet.
Whoa.
that I didn't quite I don't know if I didn't finish it. It's just where I just kept adding things. I can't. So I made like I separated through 3 movies, and I just have a bunch of like lists of different things and ranked each one out of 10, and then I have a summation at the end of each category. But I keep like finding new things to add to the list. So like I have leaders in all of this, but like I mean I guess to start would just be like our general impressions of each of the films. And then we kind of break it down from there. So for me, and like even doing that, like I like all 3 films. I will say without any, without holding back, John Wick 4 is my favorite of these movies. Like, no question.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to Mission Impossible and Fast X. So to back up a bit, John Wick 4 I think is incredible. I think for me it's the best of the franchise. I think Chad Stahelski and everyone involved just like blew it out the water as far as like coming up with new ways to do everything they needed to do for a John Wick movie, somehow making it like still minimalist yet maximizing everything in the process as far as like how much we really need to tell versus how much we can like show you. And they just went all crazy with it as far as delivering on action scene after action scene and giving you more fun characters and all this stuff. I think the movie's gorgeous. We'll talk more about that. Every shot in this movie seems to have like some kind of purpose that's artistically inclined as well as essential to whatever it means. So like, and the action, I mean, we can talk all day about the action, but like
a lot of groin strikes.
So I think John Wick Chapter 4 is just like a like one of the like it rises to that. Is this like in the Fury Road level of like action movies? I think it's like in that conversation. Like it's just so pretty perfect to me. Mission Impossible and Fast X, I like both movies as established. I will say though, Mission Impossible, after coming off of the highs of Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout, this one was a bit of a lesser for me. That's not to say I did. Again, I like the movie, but if I'm like looking at like those 3 in a row, like that trilogy, and then I get to this movie, it feels like it comes down a bit. I have reasons why I didn't get to that. Whereas Fast X, I feel like since Furious 7, it's been going down, and then this feels like it's a lift. It feels like I've gotten the best one since in a while for these movies. So that puts the 2 of them in a curious place for me, because they gave them, like in my review, I give them the same rating, which I know some people are like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Mission Impossible is amazing. How can you be talking about Fast and Furious on the same conversation? But I'm with you. I'm on the right podcast to talk about this kind of thing. So like looking at these movies, again, certainly recognize the quality in Mission Impossible, and I will argue for the quality of Fast X. Some people just write that off as a ridiculous franchise. I think it's a super fun franchise. But I think in comparison, if I'm looking at the recent Mission batch, this one's not quite as high as the others, where if I look at the recent Fast batch, I think this one actually exceeds some of them for various reasons. So that's where I'm at right now. I think John Wick Chapter 4 is just like almost a modern masterpiece at this point. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, I think, is a super fun summer blockbuster that has a few hiccups, and Fast X, I think, is a fun blockbuster that, for all of its silliness, exceeds in ways where I think the past few haven't. So,
yeah, I agree. I think 10's better than 8 and 9. Absolutely. Yeah.
And Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, and Hobbs and Shaw. That's not a Fast movie. It's part of the lore, but I don't count it. But it's hey, Vanessa Kirby though. I like her. But they the
common link between them, Vanessa Kirby.
She's the best. I was watching, so I had to go through all 4 John Wicks and count all the kills, which means a lot of freeze framing and spending and staring at the screen. And throughout the course of my rewatch of the franchise, I grew to, one's my favorite. I think the Red Circle Club action scene's the best in the franchise. I love the world building. 2 I like, but what keeps me from loving it is the catacomb fight, the museum fight, the mirror fight. They're all they're in different locations, but and they feature really neat tricks and they're beautifully done and everything, but it still feels like whack-a-mole. The more you watch it, it's just, I don't know. I love John Wick's awesome. John Wick Chapter 2 is amazing, but I don't think it's my favorite of the franchise. And then 3, I started noticing like inconsistencies in the Morocco fight. And I love the final fight against the raid guys. I love Mark Dacascos. Awesome movie. I love the movie, but spending so much time with it again, I was like, yeah, this is really good. I like it. But 4 got better for me as I kept watching 4 and pausing 4 and going, hey, a motorcycle was just used to kill a motorcycle henchman. Like just staring at the kills in this movie and how intricately it was put together and how well it works and how the runtime works, and watching Marco Zorar and watching Scott Adkins just have like big roles, that made me so happy. So yeah, I mean, John Wick Chapter 2 is definitely, or 4, Chapter 4 is my favorite of these three. But Fast 10 watching again.
Fast and Furious now.
After Black Adam. Yeah, like watching Momoa, right, have the time of his life. And there's that moment when Brie Larson scratches his car with her shoe, and he's like, rude. He's like, you butthole. It's, and like, just, I think Roman even has some growth in here. He and Tej has some good moments. There's a lot of silliness, and you get Michelle Rodriguez, Charlize Theron fight. Like, that's awesome. And then we move on to Dead Reckoning, which, you know, it's technically sound, but it's like AI is evil. And then like you got what what's his name? I have his name written down right here. Oh, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Esai Morales. Like, then you have the entity, and it's just like the AI is everywhere. And then the face machine breaks down again. I feel like the stunt this time wasn't the best. I feel like they're like, hey, we're just gonna jump off a cliff and build something around it, which is true. And it's still wonderful. I bought it. Like, I own it. Like, I've watched it 3 times. I like it. And it's, I mean, watching Palm Clementov and then Haley Atwell, Vanessa Kirby, and Rebecca Ferguson chilling in a club together in one scene is awesome. Like, they're all really cool actors. And so there's a lot to like about Dead Reckoning, but it's, yeah, I don't know. I think it might be running 3 for me right now. I mean, I'm sure we'll figure that out by the end, but that's why this episode's been fun, because I've been doing some serious soul searching. Like, I've been punch dancing, like not like in the one in Footloose, but I've been punch dancing like in Hot Rod, and I fell down a mountain for about 3 minutes, and it actually clarified a few things for me in regards to figuring out the winner on this. But yeah, let's start. I want to hear about your categories. I have a few categories, but I want to hear what you created and how you have it right now.
Like, it's not as organized as I would have liked it to be, because I like to do the work. But like, so I have a lot of categories. I started off here with various stunts, and obviously I'm not going to write stunts because there's so many different kinds of stunts in these movies. But I have fight stunts. That's the first category I have here, and as I said, I ranked everything out of 10. So like, if I was going with just the fight stunts, just like the hand-to-hand based combat sequences within each of these movies, I'd give Wick a 10. Mm-hmm. I'd give Reckoning a 9, and I give Fast X a 7. I don't think the hand-to-hand stunts are quite as strong in that regard. But like, John Wick, obviously the gun fu is a huge part of all this. But he still is. He's got nunchucks. He's doing the work when it comes to close up combat and everything. Dead Reckoning has like a number of like cool fight sequences, like just between multiple people. You have the whole like narrow Venice sequence with Cruz, Clementov, and the other henchmen, with some really cool close-ups and things, like just to really emphasize like the strength going on and display between the 3 of them. And obviously, like, there's the Gabriel and Rebecca Ferguson and Haley Atwell fight as well. There's fights in there. They're well staged. Like, McQuarrie knows what he's doing at this point with that stuff. Fast X, I can't think of like there's the big fight between Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez. Like that in itself, like that like individual scene would probably be like a 10. Outside, I mean, and then like John Cena like beats up a house,
and Reacher beats up the Brazilian guys.
Reacher beats, like, there's good power moves scattered throughout those sequences, but like, just like my general impression when I was like just looking at this, like, yeah, they're good. It's not, but it's not like reaching the same kind of high for me as the other ones were compared to the other stunts in said movies. And certainly there's other stunts in Fast movies that I think work quite well.
If you had to, pick your favorite action scene from all 3, that's a big question, but I've spent so much time with these, I know immediately what mine would be. And it's the Continental fight in John Wick 4. Just watching the pettiness on display, I keep going back to this, but like the low blows, watching the various fights go on, watching the kitchen fights go on, watching Donnie Yen.
Japan, Japanese Continental.
Yeah, the Japanese Continental. The Osaka Continental.
Yeah.
And just like watching the huge name actors just go at it, watching Marco Zorar, like watching just the fights involved. When I gotta get her name, Akira rides that guy on his back, stabbing him while he walks up the staircase. I mean, that's brutal. And just the ways that John is able to dispatch these guys. Like, we've watched John kill so many people, But when he busts out those nunchucks, you're like, yes, yes, like it's something new and amazing. And that whole scene, I think for me is my favorite. But my favorite moment out of all of them is when Zorar and Wick fight in the middle of the street in Paris on the roundabout, and
in the Arc
Zorar,
Trump, yeah.
like they trust him enough to let him land 10 punches without a cut. Like we're watching Marco just throw. Like that's what I love in movies, when I can watch these guys fight, like just fight. And that's what they did. They just fought, and it was awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Japanese continental scene as my favorite action moment scene of all three films.
So like fights, so like of any of the action.
Yeah, any scene. Like
Okay.
what's the best action scene?
God, I mean, because you're not like, because it's so detailed and layered, and it's like basically we have some stuff happen, but like that's like the first big like major action sequence in that film. Fucking Dragon's Breath though, man. It's so cool.
Oh man.
And even like the stairs thing, and like when like the Justice comes on blaring on the soundtrack and everything, like that's super cool. Like I think it might be the stairs, just because you watch it the first time and it's great, and then he fucking falls down all of them. Then he goes back up at them with Yen in tow, and you have like the Zoror's there for you get his final comeuppance with him and everything. Like that stuff rules. Like that's hard to, but yeah, the Japanese stuff, because there's so many different rooms and everything, and like you get your introduction to Donnie. And the Scott Adkins fight though, there's the thing is there's so many good things. Like I'm gonna go up the stairs just for differentiation's sake, but I mean, it's not like there's a shortage of great action sequences. It's to look at when it comes to just 4 alone. Mission certainly has great stuff too. I mean, we could talk about the car chases or what have you, but like there's
The train scene. I mean, just the way that's built. I like the hallway, not like the close quarter fight with Palm. That's a lot of fun. Just Rebecca, like the Venice fight on the bridge there with Ferguson. I mean, listen, it's a technically polished movie. These Mission Impossible, they're great to look at. And you got Shea Wiggum's hair, and he's also in the Fast World, which is awesome. His hair in Fast 10 gets the award for best hair.
Okay,
it defies. Yeah. He goes through like a wind tunnel at one point, and then he steps out of it. And he's after the train. His hair's fine. I don't know what that's impossible. That's the most impossible.
I should have had a hair section. I could still add it. It's not like I can. So you're not wrong.
So I think we're being like. So what do you think has better action, Mission Impossible or Fast 10? Like, so you said the fights in Mission are better. What about like action set pieces?
Like on the whole, because I break it down even more. Like on the whole, I mean, it's got to be Mission. I would say, like, just because there's a practicality to, like, I mean, all of the Fast doesn't get enough credit for how practical it is, but it is very practical using real cars and what it's doing and whatnot. But there is like Mission like boasts the fact that it has Tom, its star doing these things. Like that is huge. I could even agree that I don't think the major like motorcycle stunt off the mountain is like the best thing ever in the way that they seem to have promoted it to be. I think it's it's certainly really worthwhile and everything, but something about like the way it's being communicated to me compared to halo jumps or hang off plane or scaling the Burj Khalifa, like those things, just there's something that seems a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, just something that just the grandiosity of it all like just like feels bigger in my eyes to me, or even like holding breath underwater, like those kind of things. They're like the sense of danger feels a lot more real to me in the midst of it, where like he's jumping a motorcycle. I have no doubt, like I can't do that, but like it doesn't, it's like he jumped a motorcycle off a cliff. It's like, all right, I saw James Bond do that a lot of times. Like I like that doesn't seem like entirely unique in the way the film seems to want me to think it is. Is it crazy that Tom Cruise is doing that and doing it multiple times? Sure, yes, but like he's done a lot of crazy things. Like even like crazier to me is like him like standing on a biplane like recording a video while like filming 8, to be like, hey guys, I just want to thank you all for going to the movies and watching Top Gun. I'm filming the 8 right now, but here I go. And then he jumps off the plane holding the phone still talking. Like that seems like a cooler stunt to me than motorcycle off a cliff. Like so Like GoldenEye does that. And sure, it's fake, but I don't care. Like, it looks great. I haven't seen James Bond motorcycle off a cliff and get into an airplane and pull up the airplane. Like, that's a cooler stunt to me, even though yes, it's not real. There's something that's impressive to me about that. The way that this one's like, yeah, cool, he did it. Like, that's great. Even the behind the scenes stuff where he's like doing like I forget what it's called, like that speed parachuting thing, like where he jumps off the train at the end and he's doing that. Like, that seems more dangerous to me.
Yeah. There's a moment when he's zapping past the camera on that thing and you're going, wow, like what is
so like still he is doing it. So that's why I look overall, I'll give the edge to Mission Impossible. Fury 7 certainly has some cool set pieces though. I don't want to like undersell how like fun the action is in those movies, because there's some cool stuff.
Leterrier knows his business. Like, he knows.
Coming in like that the way he did, it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, that's a guy that can make that kind of thing work, and yeah, he does the job. I think the Venice chase stuff is fun, that they're leaving the big ball around and all that, and then Vin Diesel being an expert billiards player who can like knock a thing into a thing and get the ball off the bridge and
he's a crane. Oh man, and listen, what's a bummer is on the behind the scenes footage, Momoa's on that motorcycle blasting all over Rome. Like, he's up the Spanish steps. He's like, I was watching him in some of his scenes on that motorcycle. I'm like, I can't believe they let him do this. Like, but I think sometimes it gets so green screen heavy that you don't really feel the fact that Momoa's on that motorcycle zapping around. Like, he was doing his own stunts, which is pretty cool to see. But sometimes I think it gets so green screeny, the fast world, and it takes a little bit away. All these movies use VFX, of course they do, but it's something like that lady from that Iannucci show on the spaceship with Hugh Laurie. She's like, I do VFX. I don't know if you.
I know, yeah.
But yeah, it's I just watching those stunts, watch him on that motorcycle, and they're flipping those cars. All those cop cars in Rome that got blown up by that explosion, they all flipped. Like, they're flipping everything. But it doesn't, I don't know. Maybe it's just all the VFX that makes it feel less real. But they're flipping all the stuff. But yeah, I would say it's third. I would say action for Fast 10 is third, because as much as I love the fight scene between Cypher and Letty, it's like unnecessary.
It exists in its own space where it's like, this movie's already long, and I'm not against having more fight scenes, but like, there's all of that stuff with them is like exists in its own bubble, where the stuff in Mission Impossible is very much progressing things forward.
Yeah, it's like this movie had like movie fight scene, movie random fight scene, movie random fight scene, and that's cool, but it's not going to get ahead of Dead Reckoning or Wick or Chapter 4.
And there's scenes dictated by the idea that the characters just want to have a fight right now, where Mission Impossible is Tom Cruise doesn't want to do any of this. It's just like, this is the only way to get the thing done. Like, they get to in Fast X, they get to Brazil, and Jason Momoa, like, he could just have like a meeting with Dom or whatever and like taunt him. Instead, he's like, I want to have a race right now where I put a bomb under a car. Is there a reason for this? Not really. I could just shoot a guy and walk away or something. But like, no, we're gonna like have an action scene right now because I feel like it. Like, that's a lot. Again, not against action sequences, but there's certainly ways to like bring you into these things. Like, I think Fast 5, which also takes place in Brazil, the action of that movie is necessitated by what the plot's telling you needs to happen right then. It's not because, I guess we'll do action now. Like, that's not a thing.
Reacher needs to beat some guys up, Reacher needs
The Rock arriving in the favelas and having a big chase isn't because, I guess we'll do action. It's, we're chasing these guys. This is the plot. Like, there's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that's a great point. I guess you're right. It kind of slows the movie down a little bit. But yeah, they don't
in the grand scheme of things, yeah, because the pacing's affected by why did this need to happen? And I don't think they answer that question as sufficiently as they feel they could.
I mean, it's still awesome seeing two awesome action actors fight, but when it's not necessary.
It's always awesome seeing, like, again, not against this whatsoever, but if I'm trying to weigh these things as to why I can distinguish between one or the other, like, that's what it comes down to. But give me rocket cars all day or whatever with John Cena. Yeah. Like, I'm all about it.
Right, so what about like overall plot?
It's funny how I didn't write that like, of all the categories, I have plot's the one that eluded me. I have like I have like 18 categories. Plot is not on here. Let me add plot really quick on this thing.
So you know what I like about 4, right? Actually, Mission Impossible and John Wick both have sand fights. So I would give the edge. I mean, he just murders people, John Wick, and then in Mission Impossible they have the cool sniping. I'll give the sand fight edge to Dead Reckoning because it makes up for the Mummy. So I'll say that. But it's as far as plot goes. I mean, John Wick, he's just done. He goes and kills the Elder. He has to hide out in Tokyo. Then he gets a hit on his head. This Marquise wants him dead. He's being hunted. And then it all ends as a warrior's chase where he fights Scott Adkins and Marco Zarar. And he needs to become a member of the family again so they can do it. Well, it all works. It like does. It works.
It's scripting wise, like it all comes together in ways that make sense. If I want to like say like what's the story of this movie and is that a good story? Like overall, yes, because why not? But like there is a simplicity there that doesn't like require much. I mean, it's more of an it does amount to an excuse to get to elaborate fight scenes or what have you, and it's if anything rooted in character more than story, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. So like I would still like say that gives it the edge just because it does rely on simplicity where the other two are more complex by nature. But I wouldn't give it I wouldn't score it like a perfect 10 is for story. It's just more like, oh, it does the job to get you where you need to go. I'll go in order because I think Fast X has a stronger story than Mission Impossible, and maybe even John Wick to some degree, as far as like what the what you can boil it down to, because it's a revenge tale, and who doesn't like a good revenge tale? And in that nature, like it's very much akin to like Avengers: Infinity War, where Jason Momoa is the Thanos of this whole thing, and he's driving much of the story along. No pun intended. And it does it's if you're talking about just like story, like if you boil that down, I like that what it's after as far as okay, here's this guy it's doing like the Taken 2 approach where it's like what if the henchmen had families or whatever and we told a story about that. It's like so yeah, what if the son of Joaquin Almeida what if he's back and he has a grudge against Dom and his whole thing is to break up his family in elaborate ways. That's a cooler thing than Fate of the theories where it's like secret son like
and then secret brother
brother and redemption that's unearned and like I mean it's just like random things like that. Oh yeah 9 is secret brother. It's like I like that this one's rooted in like it's something that it's like it seems more plausible to me than 9 entries in and we're just now finding out Tom has a brother or let's have an excuse to like murder one character so we can still have like the spawn of that character become the offspring of the other characters. Like it feels less icky.
Fate of the Furious, when she dies, man, when she gets murdered to get her out of the way so he can get back with Letty and then he can just have a son. Like that's
it's ugly. Like it's like I get what you're going for, and naturally I'll feel bad because that's what happened. But it's also like this is a long runway to get us to like having a child without complications.
Sorry, Elsa. You've been a part of our
runway than Fast and Furious 6.
That's 8 and 9. 8 kind of lost me for that, and then 9. I enjoy, but it's just
9 has cooler stunts, so that's what gets me by. Like I really like the stunt work in 9 a lot.
I wonder if Cena's kind of pissed, and he's like, "Wait, I could have gone as big as Momoa," because in 9 he's super serious. So it's
but that's why he's great in 10. Like I like as much as he's like a complete 180 from his version of him in 9, as opposed to Rock, who I think is never better or as good as or as like consistent as he is in 5, where he is Luke Hobbs, and he is a machine, and like even like his goatee and like his sweatiness, like it all seems like very consistent. From after that, he's just Rock. There's still shades of the Luke Hobbs in the next following, like in 6 and kind of 7. He's not in it that much, and that helps, I think, honestly. But like Hobbs and Shaw especially, he's just Rock, and it's like. Not against Rock, but it's like, dude, you created a really compelling character in 5. Like, I really like that specific version of Hobbs, and you've never been that way again, and it's weird to me. hopefully 11 will give us like that version of Hobbs again.
He used to act Pain and Gain and Southland Tales.
He used to create
and
characters.
yeah,
Like that's the thing. Now he just plays rock. And it's like I like rock, but like you got to do more than just rock. Like
yeah, exactly.
what
But
was I
yeah,
say? So but as opposed to that, with Cena's whole thing is like he big kid energy is his deal. That is what makes him the most enjoyable. As fun as he is in 9 as being like stoic big guy who zip lines everywhere, that's not what I need if I see Cena
miles of it.
yeah. So like him being in 10 and being like, I'm like super fun now, and I throw people through walls or floors, but also big kid energy. I'm your like favorite uncle, rocket cars, high-fiving, do like holding onto a canoe that's actually a rocket ship. Like I'm all about that Cena. So like
Mhm.
he's great in this movie because of that. And so no, I don't think he's pissed because I think he gets to have the kind of fun that he's very good at doing.
Yeah.
I given the way this movie, this series plays fast and loose with character deaths, I'm not going to buy into the idea that Cena's just gone forever right now after 2 movies. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, well, I'll look forward to seeing whatever else Cena, assuming I'm right. I look forward to whatever else Cena brings to this franchise. I don't care if he's a fucking hologram. Like, just bring him back. Like,
Ah!
I know I died, but I uploaded my memory into a hologram machine, so I can always hear you guys.
I can talk to you in my Mustang. When you drive my Mustang, I can voice it and be an AI. And then I guess speaking of AI, let's move on to Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning, it's just you have Gabriel, and then you have like the whole spoilers, like the whole Rebecca Ferguson thing, and then you bring in Haley Atwell for some reason. You got a lot of close-up magic. You have Shea Wiggum, like, why does he always go rogue? It's, well, maybe he goes rogue for a reason. And then Luther's like, I gotta go hide, and then Benji's like just yelling. And it's I don't know. I just the whole AI thing controlling everything. It just I don't know. It works, and I understand why it has a 96% tomato meter. I understand why it's a popular movie, but I don't know. It's just
I mean, 96, like I'm in that 96. Like I gave it a
yeah,
fresh, but that doesn't mean I gave it a 9. Like I
yeah,
mean,
that's true.
I don't disagree. Like again, it's gonna sound like I'm like I have all this praise for Fast X and nothing good to say about Mission Impossible. That's not what I'm doing. I rank them about the same. But it's just like I know what the highs of Mission Impossible are. And so like the fact that this one didn't quite reach that for me is like it's a little disappointing when it's like that's your when I look at the summer movie slate, it's like that's my given. That's the one where it's like no problems whatsoever. This is going to be amazing. Everything else, like we'll see. Like so, when it doesn't live up to that high bar that it's established for itself that I give it credit for, it's like okay, like yeah, I was satisfied, but I wish I just want a little bit more. So story wise, yeah, I think that's part of the weekend. There's like 2 other like main elements I have that like bug me with this thing, but one of them is the story, and part of it is this whole now we've established that there's this like the like it feels like Tom Cruise is like indoctrinating you to a cult now, which is I know weird for Tom Cruise, but like the whole idea of being a part of the IMF, like it's no longer like it what was once like an office building with people that do jobs is now like now we're all part of a secret society. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Like I've seen the offices of IMF. I've seen Lawrence Fishburne be in a boardroom. Like this is not the IMF that I'm convinced of. Yeah, and also you retired in 3. Like what are we talking about? Like you're always hold to a bond now of like it just feels like suddenly like there's this weird like religious angle to like how everyone becomes involved in the IMF, and it's like that doesn't feel like what we used to have with this thing. I don't know where this suddenly came from. That kind of like that aspect of it, like it feels like a weird like thematically I get what you're going for, but like this it feels less grounded than some of the things taking place in this universe. On top of that, yeah, the AI plot, it's like fine, like it's not it's not like too relevant or unrelevant. It's just like okay, that's a thing, I guess we'll like tackle that. And I do think the film satisfyingly wraps up its story as far as a part like a 3-act story that just happens to have more to come. I don't think that about Fast X count as a counter. So like of the multiple part ones of 2 we had this year, this actually felt like the most satisfying one as far as wrapping up the current story we're telling presently, before we get to like the part 2 of it all. But still, yeah, the way they've kind of twisted around the IMF, The use of like drone of not drone, that's last generation of AI stuff. It's like, yeah, all right, it's satisfying to a degree, but it's not like it's not as tight, I think, as it could have been.
It's the two keys. It's good though. You know what? Like I love the train scene in this. Like the grand piano coming down and trust me, and he's like, "But I'll never let you die." You're right. And then they kind of it's like a cult, but so many people have come and gone from the IMF over the years
Yeah,
that it's. And also, I have a theory that Benji might be under the influence of the entity because when they're doing the mask, the machine breaks down again. He's like, "Oh no, we're gonna have to change the whole plan." And then he takes Cruz all the way to the top of a mountain. I know the train speeds up, and that's why the entity did it. The entity sped up the train and kept him back. But then Benji's just like, go to the top of this cliff and jump off. And I wonder if the entity's gotten to Benji and he's double crossing Ethan. What do you think?
I mean, but that's consistent with Benji, like with his his cavalierness and pointing Ethan as to where, like, think about Fallout.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, it's upside down.
where he's like, oh, I forgot to turn the verticality on. Like all this, it's just more of like a comedy of errors with him as far as, you could do this, just just run over there. What? Oh wait, I forgot. Why is he running in circles? Oh, I see. Like it's just like that stuff.
No, that's true.
And there's that funny bit though where he's in the car, like you're riding along with the train, and the car's on auto drive, so he could use the laptop. And he like gets to the other seat. And he gives a look and puts the seatbelt on. He's like, "Wait a minute, the entity could get the car." There's like some bits. There's some like comedic bits there.
Yeah.
That said, I'm fully willing to buy into the idea that someone like Benji, who is so he's the compute, like him and Luther, but Luther's like, I'm gonna go, Ethan, I'm gonna go sit in the end of the world, and you're not gonna know where I am. But like, I can buy the idea that one of them would get like. Yeah, like invasion of the body snatcher like, by the entity at some point unwillingly. That's a fun evolution of that.
You have two computer guys, so one of them can go, or one of them can be taken over. And I will say though, the club scene with Haley Atwell, Rebecca Ferguson, Vanessa Kirby, and Pom Klementoff just sitting in the same area, just looking awesome. Like that was cool. Just seeing the four of them, and I like all four of them. They're great. So So plot, I'm telling you, Fast 10 feels it's a smart way to bring back Dwayne Johnson. It's just, there's something more powerful. And then Etienne's out in this world. We know Cypher's out in this world. We know the power in this world. So it does make sense that another mega villain could rise because there's so many mega villains out there already. So organically speaking, I'm going to go, I just love the simplicity of John Wick. Like you tell a very simple story and you can focus on fights and everything. You don't have to get weighed down with any exposition whatsoever. You just kill people. So I'm going to go Wick, Fast, MI for my plot story. So I think that works. But what's your what else do you have? I know you have 19 categories, so I want to hear this.
Well, to go back a bit, because I had fight stunts, I have vehicle stunts.
Oh.
John Wick, I give like a 7. I think like it has the car stuff like late in the game, but that gets taken out of commission pretty quickly. Where Mission Impossible gets a full 10 because they know what they're doing with vehicles.
A little car.
They got little cars, they got big cars, they got big car against little car, all about that. They got all the vehicles. And then obviously Fast X is all about vehicles. I give that like a 9. Because it's certainly like plenty of vehicle work throughout there. It is a matter of, if I'm looking at the two of these, they're using actual cars and zooming them around. We're like, I'm happy to see Vin Diesel, use his car to bring down 2 helicopters or drive down a dam, but they didn't. It's not like he actually did that. So it's like it gets a minor reduction in that regard. But it is a franchise that's based on car action, so I'm not gonna like score it too low. Let's see.
And what I like about Cruz is in 6, remember when he had like a concussion and he dived off the car and hurt himself, when he kind of acts like in 6 he gets saved like by Benji after he's all disoriented. Rebecca Ferguson saves him in Rogue Nation. Like I what I like about him is he's handcuffed, he can't get to the wheel, so she has to drive. Like I like the ways that Cruz figures out ways to like make himself look a little silly at moments. Remember when he can't start the car? He's like, well, this is different. This is like, they're all different. There's knobs and stuff. Like it's good button pushing, but I like how he does that. He can kind of take the piss out of himself a little bit, which I admire. And he does that frequently in these fast movies after Protocol, I think. So I like
Protocol
that.
is basically a comic, basically like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like Ghost Protocol is everything fucks up constantly.
Yeah.
Movie. It doesn't waste time with uber confidence. Like 3 is so like serious, even though it has like it's because it's J.J. Abrams, so it has like a sense of humor, but it's still like a very serious and ugly looking movie.
Yeah.
It's shot horribly. But it's green and yellow. It's a really ugly, like, what JJ, lighten up. Come on. And then 2 is so self-serious, so there's no room for like jokes, like, but it's fun, and it's fun in a different kind of way, because
You have the Chimera.
John Woo's an earnest filmmaker, and that's exactly what he's doing, and he's basically parodying himself, and it's wonderful. But yeah, 4 and on, they figured out the real thing, which is, as McQuarrie says all the time, and I already said before, Ethan doesn't want to do this. That's his thing. He doesn't want to do these big things, and that's the drama, that's the suspense. So yeah, seeing inherent comedy come from him, like figuring things out in the moment or whatnot, like that's a lot of fun. And
they're good on problems. Like Ghost Protocol, there's a sandstorm. The contact doesn't work great. They go there faster than normal. They have to print the stuff out. Everything goes wrong on top. Like, oh, his gloves don't work. He has to dive back. Like, it's just this. I love the script writing because it's problems on problems on problems.
It's one of the few franchises where I can actually enjoy hats on a hat. Like, I feel like that like, because there's plenty that, like, I feel like it's too much. For example, like Iron Man 3 is always one that gets me, where like otherwise there's so much good stuff about Iron Man 3, but then it's also like the end of that movie is so like there's so much happening. It's like there's all these suits, and there's Guy Pearce, and he breathes fire, and like there's this and this and that, and then it feels like there'd be a point where like RDJ is like hanging off a scaffolding or something. Guy Pearce is there, and it's like, I'm gonna kill you now. By the way, you're being audited. It's like, dude, how many like what's like how many things do I have to deal with here?
What's worse?
I can't. I don't need all of this. Give me trouble one. Don't give me trouble. Like, I don't. That's too much. But Mission Impossible, though, yeah, that's one where it's like, again, I think that's the organic nature of it, where like it stacks things based on what propels the narrative along. So it works in that regard.
And he has to go in at missions so quickly that you have an A plan, but you don't have time to prep for everything. So something will go wrong. He's just so good at improvising that something will go wrong during these. So I like that.
I'd love to see him be involved in like an Inception team thing. Like, it seems like there'd be such a fun way to be like, oh wait, the dreams collapsed, what do we do here? And like watch them figure that out. Watch him and Benji and Luther being like, Ethan, you got to drive this way, but not too fast, or else you're going to upset the dreamscape in the elevator. Like, I want to see them switch. I want to see Leo. I want to see Cobb and their team like deal with some international assassin, and I want to see Ethan and Luther and Benji go inside the Inception machines and like deal with Ken Watanabe. Like, that's what I want.
Oh my gosh. The Last Samurai reunion. I'll take it.
Watch Benji in a rotating hallway and be like, oh, here's my totem. Like,
and you know what though? Tom Cruise already explains everything. I mean, Inception is all explaining. So he's Top Gun Maverick. They explain the mission for half the movie. They go on the mission. Mission Impossible. They explain every mission before they go on the mission. So they would fit naturally in the Inception world because they'd just be explaining everything the whole time.
Yeah,
perfect.
And then like Cobb's he gets into chase and stuff. He can handle some of this. There's that whole was it Morocco where he's like running around and has to escape some guys. Like, there's some cool stuff going on before they get into Dream World. So.
Oh, and then also I gotta say, Little Tej is a great car moment in Fast 10. That's pretty funny. I like that bit. But yeah,
I had weapon stunts was the next one. John Wick's obviously a 10 in this category, no question. It's like that's very clear. Mission Impossible, I give like an 8. It's not a lot of like, the weapons they use, they're minimal, but they work. Like, there's just, there's swords, there's knives. There's things that cause they're more like tension builders as opposed to like operational. there's a lot of the threat of a sword or a knife going into somebody as opposed to we're clashing swords together and whatnot. John Wick has got fucking nunchucks and all the guns and everything. But obviously Fast X is, that's a very car heavy franchise. So like weapons is not the key thing, but there's some gunfights in there or whatnot. And they use like Vin Diesel uses cars as weapons, of course. So like that, kicks them up a bit as well. So I had that. Let's see, action creativity I had as a category. Once again, John Wick gets a 10.
Yeah. Listen, they went full Malignant, right? With the bird's eye view and using a motorcycle to kill a motorcycle henchman. And just the thought of, I'm telling you, man, I analyzed all 415 confirmed kills of Wick, and they never phone it in. Like they just don't. And some movies you watch and you feel it, but this fourth one, when he's driving around the cars with his car, and when Zarar hits him, and the dog, you got the snipe. That's a horror movie. Before we even get to Dragon's Breath, it's a horror movie with that dog wiping people out. And like, as a huge fan of Marco Zarar, watch it. No one can kill him. Like, he's John Wick strong. He might even be stronger than John Wick. And then Killa with, well, okay. I was a bouncer in a bar for a couple bars, many years during college, helped me pay for college, and then afterwards, just for extra money. If my bosses were like, here's an axe, I would quit. I would, why? This implies I'm going to have to use this axe. And Killa's bouncers have axes.
Yeah. And he has the kind of patronage at his club where it's like, fights may break out. Music's not going to stop, though.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Keep dancing, baby.
Going.
Yeah. But like, Stalhetsky said that like 0.5 of the world's population is assassin, part of the assassin world, but that's still something like 30 million people.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
So maybe it's just normal. Like, I'm at the club, assassins are killing each other, I'm dancing. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, like, bouncers have, I don't know. But listen, Scott Adkins throwing kicks in a Sammo Hung inspired fat suit, looking awesome. You have Marco Zarar throwing 10 plus punches at a time. Yeah, it's the action.
The words there.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? The weapon stunts still. Oh no, we talked about that. Okay. What else? Action creativity. That's where we're action creativity. Mission Impossible. I give it like a 9. Like, it's still like, it's pulling off some things. It's got some car chases in there. That's like the most creative things it has. That whole airport sequence. There's a lot of, like, without being like an action scene, it still has a lot of like, a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts going on to make it really like thrilling. And Fast X is like, that relies more on its set pieces. So I gave it like I knock it a little bit. It's just like an 8, but it's still like, it has, it scatters set pieces throughout the thing. And it's certainly, Dom drives down a dam, like, while it's blowing up. Dom takes down helicopters, and like, John Cena has rocket cars, and like, there's bits like that. They can, you can argue some of it might be just variations of other Fast movies to a degree, but there's still, it still has its showcase moments that they, put in the trailer for a good reason. Like, as silly as it is, Fat F9 had the, hit the bridge at the right way pendulum swing, which I thought was amazing. It's just like, I haven't seen that. Like, that's just breaking something new out there as far as like what we can do here using only cars as our prime weapon. So like, that wins me over. That wins me over more than like, oh, there's a sub. It's like, okay, it's big. I mean,
that entire chase scene, they're just sort of in a straight line driving away from it.
Yeah, so there's only so much you can really do there. There's little bits. I mean,
Roman murdering a bunch of people and riding the door.
Roman getting his skill, riding the door. Rock, grabs a torpedo and directs it like that. There's fun stuff for sure. Again, I like 8, but yeah, it has its moments for sure that really stick out.
I don't like the zombie cars though. Zombie cars don't really appeal to me.
Zombie car, like, I feel like in theory there's a cool idea there, but like in execution is like, well, that made up a sequence, I guess. What I did like was we're talking about too much about it now, we don't need to, but I did like all cars versus Dom car. That's fun.
Little nobody screws it all up.
Yeah. So let's get to some star power here. Star power is a category I have, which all these movies are off the chain with. Obviously, both of these are tens. The first two, John Wick and Mission Impossible, they're tens out of 10 for star power. They get all the stars you need. It feels very big in that regard. Like, look at all these fancy, beautiful people that like are in this thing. It's incredible. Fast X, I ding it 1 point, just because it's not quite there. Like the glamorousness of it all doesn't quite seem as apparent as it does in John Wick and Mission Impossible. That said, lead charisma. Lead charisma is my next category.
Ooh.
And Keanu, I mean, he's Keanu. Like he's fueling this entire enterprise right here, and like so obviously he gets a 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Mr. $1 billion, Tom Cruise over here. He gets a 10. He's Tom Cruise. Diesel is tricky. Like I give Fast X an 8 in this regard because Diesel's like he's the star for sure. He's not quite he's so isolated from everybody else throughout this movie where it's hard to be like this guy's the thing driving this thing. It's like, I'm sure I like Diesel. It's fun to see him when he's doing it. Honestly, I think he's better than he's been in a couple of these movies here because of him having to be tested through family. But I'll be curious in the next one, like when we see, everybody rise back together again to go after Jason Momoa. Like I'll be curious how that all plays out. Villain charisma. We get a 9 on John Wick because you got a lot of cool guys here. You got Mark Zaror. You have
the dummy
Skarsgård, who I think is really, really solid. And I don't consider Donnie Yen like a villain, but like you got a lot of colorful characters here on the villain side that are, certainly making things happen. Impossible 7. I get a 7 out of 10. Like Gabriel, Asai Morales is a solid character actor. But like the threat from him is not as like, he's just like a bad guy who happens to be played by a good actor. It's not like, he's not Phil Hoffman, he's not Sean Harris in the past 2 Mission Impossible movies. Like it's not there's not a I can't wait to see this guy die kind of feeling that I get from some of the other villains in the Mission Impossible movies, which is a franchise I never think like the villains are like really the biggest thing about it. Like Ghost Protocol, for example, has dude from Red Dragon Tattoo from John Wick, who is like he's fine, but like he's not the thing you're there to see.
That's not the point. He's just exactly the guy to get the thing.
And like DeGray Scott, who's missing out on being Wolverine so he can finish with Mission Impossible 2 reshoots, like he's supposed to be the anti-Cruise. And like, if I think of the anti-Cruise, I don't think I'm thinking DeGray Scott. But
he has that good crying scene, though, which I love, which is very John Woo, which makes me happy.
Oh, for sure. No, like he delivers on the work, but I mean, it's just, at the end of the day. Fast X, though, 10 out of 10. Jason Momoa makes a fantastic villain. Best hair, dresses all out, purples and pinks and all kinds of colors, sashay away with him like he's doing his work here.
You butthole.
Yeah,
talking to dead bodies.
10 out of 10 on Momoa, best villain of the franchise in my book. Just does the job.
Yeah, I love him talking to the dead bodies, right? And he's like, and then when she scratches his car, he's like rude, and he's just like, what I love, like Leterrier and Vin, they just let him go big, like they did. They just let him be like, and I like that. I like it. The 10th movie of this franchise, you have a villain who's painting his nails, calling people buttholes, just acting squirrely. He's just having fun, and that was kind of infectious for me in this movie. And like that's as much as people are like, oh, it's just another Fast movie. They allowed him to go big, which is I think that's good on Vin. Like he's like, yeah, let him do it. Like I like him. Vin's like, I've been clocking him for a while. This is great. So
they sell the prologue stuff. They sell the idea of him like existing in this timeline and making it make sense. Like I like that. I like that quite a bit.
Yeah, and he's a killer to begin with. He's like, you were crazy, but whatever. And now you have a ton of money. And then he builds himself up. But I don't know. Making Cypher not good. Like it works with Statham, right? Because he didn't kill Han. He murdered all those cops in the hall. Well, he did murder Han.
He murdered a hospital. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna. I'm not
He's a
gonna
serial
like,
killer. He's a mass murderer.
I am happy to support Jason Statham doing cool Jason Statham things, but like if this movie wants to tell me that he's actually secretly good the whole time, don't have him murder a hospital and try to don't tell me that that's the case. He murdered a hospital.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's not
everybody.
yeah, a hospital. Like Furious 7 goes so out of its way to tell you he's the bad guy. He's not like a guy with a misunderstanding of how things work. He's the bad person. He's a guy who you hurt his brother, and now he's gonna come after you and fuck you up because he's a villain. And then then it's like, but he saved a baby, and here's a spin-off movie where he's like, oh, I got friends I gotta make up to. Like, I don't care about this stuff. Like, if
And The
you
Rock
want to make
goes, "You were in the military? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. You're cool in my book now."
it's such revisionist bullshit. I if that gets to me too much, where it's like, yeah, justice for the fucking hospital that died. Like,
can we make that as a
justice
poster?
for the hospital?
Yeah, have them come back. Mr. Nobody set that all up. But I'm with you.
So what if the franchise reveals that Mr. Nobody made a fake hospital, then I'll get behind this whole justice for Han business. Or the reverse, the we accept him now business.
Yeah, it's he murdered. He killed dirt, like put a grenade in the guy's pants. He didn't have to kill that guy. No, he blew up some nurses that were by there.
He murdered a hospital. Cypher, whatever. She's villains of enemies. My enemy is my friend. She's an all business kind of person. So like I can get behind it because there's no gain for her right now to be against Dom beyond personal satisfaction, which that doesn't seem to be a thing for her. So
interesting. Okay. All right. So
we'll see where it goes. Like, but obviously there's some kind of like mega villain at the top of all this thing. So we'll see what happens, I guess. And Reacher of course was the but I think
he's way too fake tan in his teeth.
Well, that's the
teeth
thing.
In that tan.
The movie wants me to be like convinced at the end that there's a twist that he's a villain. Is like, dude, no one has that hair and is a good guy. Like that was my thing watching this movie. He has villain hair. There's no the look that he's sporting throughout this movie is like, guy's a villain. I know this. He's a mole, whatever you want to call it. He's not good. And sure enough, there he is on a cliff of a rocket launcher being like, I've been bad the whole time. I'm like, dude, I know. Look at you.
And also this, in Fast 4, Vin takes a bullet to the shoulder and not reacts. But in this one, Brie Larson gets shot in her shoulder and he's like, I'll carry you. Wait, he just lifted a car with one arm, by the way, in Fast 10. And it's like, it's supposed to be miraculous that he picks up Brie Larson and carries her to a car. But she should have just been hitting the shoulder and been like, all right, let's do it. I don't know. But it almost took her out.
No, it's her bad shoulder. It should have been her other shoulder would have been fine.
Not again.
Bounce that shit off. But this shoulder is the bad one.
Yeah. I don't know. That bothered me. Like Vin can no sell bullets, but she can't.
Let's see. I got
I know we gotta go. We'll wrap this up. And what do you think? 10 more minutes, 15 minutes. I gotta get you out of here.
I gotta go. I said I have more categories.
Oh, okay, cool.
I CG visuals. John Wick. What John Wick does so well is disguise it. It doesn't rely on super, high intense kind of CGI type stuff. So instead, it can like have visuals that sit there and like work.
Mad Max is it?
Without calling too much attention to itself. So like obviously there's a lot of like green screen things have or whatnot, but it's because of the nature of the movie, the size of the budget and everything. It's like, no, we don't need to like go overboard. So I give it like a 9 out of 10. Like the CGI, visual effects work, what have you. I think it all, it works without being distracting in some way. Here's where my issue with Mission Impossible comes in, though. As good as the effects are throughout the movie, I think the train stuff just doesn't look as good as it can, especially when it's going over the bridge and everything. Like it feels noticeably CGI in a way where that a movie like that I wouldn't expect from. Maybe trains are just hard, but like it's enough where I was like, I really want to buy into the idea of these people have to escape various train cars as they're falling down. That's cool, and I think the execution of that mostly looks really good. However, seeing this film multiple times and seeing like on IMAX where I'm seeing the biggest possible is like, this train looks kind of fake. Like I know they put like a real train off a thing, like that's cool. But other parts of it like, I feel like I shouldn't be like I shouldn't be seeing the scenes as much as I am. And I don't look for that kind of thing. It just kind of occurred to me. So like I've got it down there. So like a 7 out of 10 on the CGI stuff. Same with Fast and Furious.
Mm.
God bless it. It's trying. It's going for it with the damn explosion and everything, and like the NOS slow motion stuff, and going up Vin's arm into the gear shift and all that. But it's still like, this isn't real. Like, this didn't happen. Like, there's some wonky stuff with that. Like they used a real ball going down, but once it's on fire, it's like, okay, so now we just kind of replace the ball with something that's not really there anymore, or we got a pinball shot it off the bridge and all that stuff. Create a neutron explosion and all these things. Like, God bless them, they're going for it, but like, yeah, it's not like as sturdy as it could be.
Like, they can't go back to the same bridge in Brazil. They can't do all that. You can feel a lot. Like when Reacher beats up the people in Brazil, that's such a set. That's like the biggest set of ever.
Yeah.
Like in Fast 5, you feel a little sweaty watching it. When Paul Walker and Jordana Brewster are driving around, like, you see the sweat, you feel the heat. This one, there's none of that. And I get it. There's money. There's COVID. Director changes, schedules,
there's
all that.
Yeah, for sure.
But you still feel it, even though I understand why. There's moments where I'm like, that's just a big set, and I don't think I felt that way with Wick too much. So yeah, I would give Wick the advantage there as well.
Wick, the only part that like I can question is like when they're in the the intersect, the Arc de Triomphe, like that whole circle. It's like, well, obviously they can't put a bunch of stunt guys in the middle of the busiest intersection in Europe. That's not going to be a thing. But it doesn't look bad at all. It looks fucking great.
Yeah, yeah, that looks amazing.
I have locations. Locations like John Wick, they go around places. It's not as globe trotty, but it's not like that kind of series. So I give it like an 8. I give they go play. They go to France. They go to Japan. Like, cool. Impossible, I say the same. Like, yeah, they go around Europe, they do some cool stuff. Fast X, like, they go back to Brazil, so it's like, okay, like, again, we're not going but we're also in Portugal, whatnot. So it's fine. Shooting these locations, on the other hand, though, which I also have as a category, 10 out of 10 for John Wick. They shoot the hell out of all the places they go to. Every place looks gorgeous. They use it to the fullest. It's great. Mission Impossible, I forget why I dinged it, but I gave it a 9. It's like, well, they shoot the hell out of Venice, that's for sure.
Yeah, they do.
Everything they do in Venice, they do for sure, as big as they can. Fast X, because I think of it, as you just mentioned, there's a lot of set work and stuff for like reasons. I gave it like a 7. It's like, they shoot there. They shot Italy for sure. They did that. Everywhere else is like, it feels less impactful based on the place that they're in, as compared to like, we're in Venice and we're going down the canals or going through various parts of Italy or what have you.
And the airport work is great too.
Airport work, which is like a brand new airport at the time as well.
Running on top of it, it's just well thought out, and it's there, which helps a lot. Yeah. Good year for Venice.
Yeah,
I love Haunting in Venice. Haunting in Venice is just such a good Poirot.
It's the best of those. Yeah, the best of the Brana Perrots, that's for sure. And he shoots the hell out of it. Honestly, that's a big part of why. That's a big part of why, because it uses a lot of natural light and everything.
Gothic and wonderful. Yeah.
We've talked, like, other categories just kind of bleed into things we've already talked about, so stuff like comedy or like the cast or whatnot. I mean, the cast though, they're all getting like the same grade because they all have great support, like ensembles. If anything, my biggest knock would be Fast X, where, like, I agree with you that Ludacris gets, or Tyrese, and they're both involved in the same stuff, but like Tyrese gets some stuff to do that strengthens character, but I think it comes at the expense of he's just not as funny as he's been in previous ones. My dad said that when we left the theater the first time. He's like, because Tyrese is like, me and him are all about Tyrese. We think he is to me the glue that holds a lot of this franchise together. He works for me. But like my dad walked out of the video, he's like, Tyrese wasn't as funny this time. I was like, I know, he actually, like, I think that segment is the weakest of them, because you have like the Vin stuff, the Moa stuff, the Letty stuff. Then there's like the Tyrese, Ludacris, Natalie Emmanuel, that Han business that's over here.
Internet cafe.
The Internet cafe is like one of the worst seats of the year. Honestly.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like that stuff was like the weakest chunk of that movie for me, and that part of that's because Tyrese just wasn't like, not that it's him it's just more of like the material he was working with just didn't really get me going in that same kind of way.
Like, people are dying. He would spend his money. Like, he's risked his life for Brian. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he would not have.
It's a lot of shtick with him in this one, where it's like, I'm all for humor in these movies, but we need less like this, like this kind of shtick going on to get them to like slap fight each other and stuff. It's like, I don't know what this
Oh,
is.
yeah, that was bad.
That,
And then you
that's
just
so
have that one. I don't think it's his fault either, but why do I forget his name? Bodies, SNL.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. Like they just allowed him to riff. Like he had a couple good lines, but that was such
It's a weird like, I guess you're in this. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
And like poor Natalie
I'm a fan.
Emmanuel.
Can I be in one of these? Like, what is? How does this work? Like, where
Yeah,
I sign up?
yeah, that's a bad scene. That's not a good scene. But yeah, it's probably the worst scene of the three movies.
Oh yeah, by far.
Not probably.
There's no bad scene in John Wick 4. There's no bad scene in Mission Impossible. Like there's just, but that's the scene where it's like, you know.
What do you think about Rebecca Ferguson's arc?
I'm not convinced that she's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just too optimistic about how these things work, but it just feels like that seems like here. So here's the thing. Here's the other big knock that I have against the three things that I've had. One is like the IMF stuff. The other is the visual effects. The third thing is Haley Atwell. Not because of her. She is doing the work. I don't like how they've written her character. I don't like how they wrote her, which does seem like we need to, and it uses a lot of like, well, if we have one, we have to get rid of the other. It's like, I don't know how that works. That doesn't and part of it's because I don't know what kind of relationship they're going for with her and Cruz. At times it seems like brother sister, sometimes it seems father daughter, sometimes it seems romantically inclined. But it's like he's involved with Fergus, like they're like kindred spirits, regardless of if they consummate this in any way. Like they're so like a unit in their own self, where they're like these asexual beings that just happen to be drawn to each other. That's how the series seems to portray them. That like I don't like that's its own unit. So it's like I don't need another like interest, but I don't think the movie's that's the thing. I think the movie's too confused as to what that's supposed to be. Like, so wait, so he's old, like is he supposed to be like a mentory type thing, or is it supposed to be like a playfully bantery? I don't It felt inconsistent to me watching that. And then like her actions, a lot of it is I'm in a chase with you, but I'm going to betray you at the end of it and leave and go my own way until she doesn't anymore. And I get that that's how the film's supposed to work, like movie wise, but like me as an audience member, I kept feeling like you got to that whole car chase and now you're like going to leave him on the train tracks. Like
locked to it.
Locked to it. It's like, I get that you feel like he can handle himself, but it's like, he's the one person that's like protecting you right now. Like it just like, it felt weird to like keep having her be so squirrelish about like how involved to be with Ethan. And then on top of that, the IMF stuff. And I'm like, whatever. The other weird knock that I have, like I feel like it's entirely my own issue, is Vanessa Kirby, I think, is excellent in this movie as an actress. In that scene where she has to play Haley Atwell being her, I think is excellent. Except they established that she has two people in her life that like know her, and it's her brother and it's Kittredge. And Vanessa Kirby has very blue eyes, and they want to have me believe that these two people would not immediately recognize, in a world where they know that face masks are a thing, that anyone at any time could be wearing some kind of mask, and they look at the person that they've grown up with and see the brown eyes on her, is like, that's obviously my sister, no questions asked. I don't like that kept bugging me that whole sequence. Like I feel like and I feel like it bugs me because I think McQuarrie feels like he's accomplished. I was like, we got this great performance out of her, but we wanted to give her the brown eyes just for the audience to make sure. I'm like, no, this entirely ruined the scene for me, which would have otherwise been great.
This is the first time where I feel like their run and gun style, where they go, let's write this. Okay, let's go here. So where their running gun style caught up with them a little bit. Like I think they were quite infallible before.
I wrote that exact thing in my review. A lot of the thing is McQuarrie, he designs a lot of like set pieces and then figures out the plot from there, which cool. It worked multiple times in these movies. I agree with you. This is the first time where it felt like that felt more evident and that has to come from the fact that this movie took like way too long to film and the COVID problem and everything. So it's just like, and so it makes me hope that 8 they'll have a tighter thing to work with and it'll be stronger in that regard. But yeah, that did occur to me as well, for sure.
I mean, it had to have moved like a glacier with COVID. and the rewrites and people getting sick and traveling and visas. So it's hard to maintain like that scene where she's in the car and he's like, I never make this work. And Haley's like, yeah. Like that, some of them don't really gel, but also I'm going to give it a little bit of a pass because like you said, this took forever to film. It was on location. It was during COVID, one of the first huge films back, maybe aside from Dominion. And it still works, but I felt it catching up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
End satisfaction. That's the we can end on that category because I think that makes a lot of sense. Two of these are part ones. John Wick certainly implies a bit of a definitive ending, given that the characters presumably died. So like satisfaction wise with John Wick, I think it's a great ending. I mean, it thematically fits. I think all the characters are resolved accordingly. You even get a post thing with Donnie Yen and the daughter.
Akira.
Like and like the way they eliminate, the guy on the height, Skarsgård. That all just it feels wrapped up in a sufficient way. If they never made John Wick 5, and this is like where we leave everything, I wouldn't be upset by that. I'm upset by the fact that I wanted, it'd be nice if John did not die. I think it'd be nice if he walked away from that one somehow.
He's still not dead though, because so I had to write an episode about this. And in the third one, he shoots that doctor in his shoulder and in his side, and like he knows exactly where to shoot him. Like Kane knows exactly where to shoot Wick. Like that doctor lived. Like he shot that doctor in 2 spots, and also. This is probably just them not wanting to deal with it. But in the second one, he takes 2 bullets in his like right side from Moneymaker. And then in the next one, when the doctor's working on his shoulder cut, those like bullet holes are gone. It's probably just makeup department not want to deal with it. But the dude's Wolverine. So it's
what gets me is that
he's not dead.
Well, it's like, to whose satisfaction is he playing this for, though? That's what bugged me, because it's like it's only like Yen and Ian McShane, like they're the only ones that are there to see him like go down to the, or like Lawrence Fishburne. Is Lawrence Fishburne? He's there, I guess. He's at the funeral, or he's at the grave. Grave doesn't count, though. That could be whatever. But like that's the thing. Like everybody, like Clancy Brown, everybody, they walked away. So it's just like McShane and Donnie Yen basically just like hanging out by dying Wick. And I'm like, well, if he's not dying, like who are they? Like who's watching? Like that needs to see this act.
Yeah.
Again, I'm fully happy to see 5 come out and they have some elaborate explanation or what have you. Give me that all day. Cool beans, whatever. But again, so that's what I'm saying. Like if it ends, if it did stop here, which it won't probably, fine. I like they did the job. Like I look forward to them welcoming the challenge of how do we make 5 that's somehow even greater than 4. So yeah, with that one.
That's the only reason they might make it.
Yeah,
is to be like, how do we make 4 better? Like, I don't think they would come back just if they dumped money on their backyard. Sure. Maybe Stileski's like, I need to top this. Like, that's the only reason I see them coming back. But yeah, the 2 cliffhangers with the cargo plane crashing. At the end of 10.
the cargo plane crashing where the whole cast dies. Yeah, that happened. The problem with that one is the movie stops mid-movie. There's so much, like it's not just like a cliffhanger. It's someone pressed pause on the remote, walked out of the room, and stopped faking the movie anymore. Like that's what it feels like in Fast X. So it's like, all right, like I know that there's a part 2. Like not everyone knows this, and nothing makes me more curious than what the title of Fast X Part 2 is going to be. If it's going to be in fact Fast X Part 2, or like something more elaborate than that. But that's my biggest. As always, with all of the titles of every subsequent Fast sequel, I'm always curious what the sequel title is going to be in these movies. Although I did call Fast X back when Fast 5 came out, and I'm always proud of that. Mission Impossible, like I said, I think it's a satisfying 1, 2, 3 arc. I think the story they are telling in that movie, I think it has a beginning, a middle, and an end to it. Is Gabriel still out there? Sure. Entity's still entitying it up? Yes, it is. But in terms of what the hunt mission was and where we leave things, I do think it's I'm not going to say it's completely foolproof or what have you, but I do feel like I got a fully rounded movie by the end of it.
So we're going Wick, MI,
Fast. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So what's your overall? So we have Wick number 1.
So
After all of our discussion, what are you going to do?
So I have all the scores of all these because I made everything out of 10. And so if I'm looking at the scores, I have Fast X in third with 133 points. I have Mission Impossible in second with 143 points, and John Wick is 155 points, right in the front. So like going on, this, yeah, that's my order for it. I mean, I as much as I can gripe about things in Mission Impossible, I still think it's a really fun action summer spectacular. And as much as I can praise Fast X, I get that it's the 10th entry in the Fast and Furious franchise. Like
It's
I'm not,
Fast X.
and I still, I'm a huge supporter of the franchise. I don't say defender. It's like I don't need to defend anything. Movies can defend themselves. I'm either a fan or I'm not. It's not so much for me. So I'm a huge supporter of Fast X, and like I'm happy to praise it as much as I praise other things that I like to certain degrees. But yeah, John Wick far and away is the best of all of this. So.
And I think we've summed up my thoughts here. I'm going to go the same because Dead Reckoning doesn't have a really bad scene in an internet cafe.
That's the thing. Yeah, there's no point where it just drops down to nothing.
Yeah, and it drops down to nothing in that moment. So yeah, I think that feels right. I think I would watch Fast 10 before I watched Dead Reckoning again.
Yeah,
I think of the three, it might have the most rewatchability as far as like a TNT FX AMC movie. Because
I suppose, but I mean, John Wick's on. I'm not gonna not watch it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen so much of like 2 and 3 just because they're on like the Sci-Fi Channel of all things, and I'm like randomly like I'll have lunch or dinner or something, and then I have like 20 minutes. I'm like, I'll just scan TV. Like, oh, John Wick 3's on, and it's the beginning, which I've seen the most. And it's like, I guess I'm watching this now. So.
Yeah, I love those movies. So this was good. I did not see this episode going this way. I'm really happy it did. And now I feel like I can put these things to a close. And if you're bored out there, if you go to Fandom Entertainment on YouTube, go to By the Numbers. I've done episodes on John Wick. I've done episodes on Mission Impossible. And I've also done episodes on all the Fast movies. So you can read those. Rotten Tomatoes, I did how to make the perfect Fast movie. And then Mission Impossible, I updated my Tom Cruise running data for this. And then for Ringer, I ranked all the John Wick kills. And then I also wrote an episode for Film Theory about if John Wick was dead or not. So yeah, there's a bunch of different things for you to watch if you want to check out my year in these 3 franchises. I can put them to rest. Or just probably not. I mean, another year doesn't mean anything, but.
Well, we'll have when part 2s of 2 of these come out, we'll have so much more to talk about again.
If all 3 of these come out in the same year. Last question before we get up.
Yeah.
What's the best hanging moment in a movie with a cliffhanger this year? So we have Spider-Man, Fast 10, and Mission Impossible.
Hanging moments?
Yeah.
Like literally?
I think it's got to be Dead Reckoning, right? Because they're just hanging. Do people hang somewhere in Fast 10?
Do you mean like literally, like physically hanging?
Yeah, 2 hands hanging.
Oh no, the best hanging moment by far is Across the Spider-Verse, because they literally are hanging upside down under a building, having a deeply, philosophical conversation about their lives as Spider-Man and their relationships to each other. Like that, the publicity stills is literally like them hanging upside down, looking at the city from afar. Like that's easily a best hanging moment for me.
That's fair. I'm gonna put that on Twitter just to let y'all know. All right, well, we settled that. So hey, where can people find you, man? And what do you have coming up?
I write for We Live Entertainment for movie reviews, and it's the end of the year, so there's certainly plenty of stuff going on in that regard because there's so many movies coming out. And then like by the end of the month, I'll have my top 10 film list. I also host a podcast Out Now with Aaron and Abe. My friend Abe and I talk about weekly movie releases, and we have a lot of bonus episodes as well. Certainly, again, around this time of year, there's so many movies coming out that we don't want to give short shrift to anything, so we have a lot of bonus special eps in that regard. And we do commentaries every month. And this month we are doing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory to round out the year. So stay tuned for that. And then our bonus top 10 show will come up. We have a horror award show that Mark will be he'll be a part of as well, which will be super fun. So yeah, plenty of things going on Out Now with Aaron and Abe.
I've watched 6 horror movies in the last 2 days.
There you go. Oh, and I'm on Twitter, Aaron's PS4. Yeah, there's that.
All right, this is awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Aaron Neuwirth, who's still rolling down that staircase, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.